Let's get into the advisory now, and my next guest highlights the importance of young people having knowledge of superannuation and what resources parents can utilise to help those conversations. Dawn Thomas from the Wealth Designers joins me now. Dawn, this is such an important conversation to have because if you start consolidating your super at a young age, you're going to be far better off in retirement, right?
Yes, definitely. And the government has done a lot of work already to ensure that people don't have multiple super funds. They have brought in legislation called super stapling, meaning that the super fund you have should follow you from employer to employer instead of a new one being opened up for you every time you join. But there's still other decisions to make. There's still more that you can do to get yourself ahead.
So when somebody has their first job, maybe at a quick service restaurant or the like, and they get a super account, then they start their actual proper job. As you're saying, the process should be that super account follows them. If it doesn't, they should be consolidating. So what happens when young people do get their first job? Just talk us through the process.
Oh, fantastic question, Juliet. A lot of parents may not know that the moment their child has their first super guarantee payment, that triggers for superannuation to be set up. And what happens as well is that you might be given a pack of forms when you start this job. And if you don't return the forms around superannuation, your child is still going to get paid. So it's not like they're going to follow up and say, we're missing superannuation information. What will then happen is that the employer's superannuation default fund that they've chosen. So most employers will have a fund that they will use if an employee doesn't make a choice. That will become the choice for your child. And then that will be stapled to your child, meaning that first fund will then carry through till they decide to make a choice otherwise.
Now, if you're 17, 18, 21, 25, retirement seems like a very, very long way away. What is, or how important is it that parents have these conversations with their children as well, in terms of, I guess, really trying to get them engaged?
Superannuation is largely a set and forget system, but with a few key decisions early on, something that parents are really well equipped to do, they are going to end up a lot better, and with a simple use of calculators on the Money Smart, a website where you are comparing a return of about 7% versus 8%, you could turn out about $100,000 better off just by selecting out of the default option in your super fund. Now, that conversation can happen at home. If parents are aware that kids are starting work, if they're below 18, they're going to get super guarantee payment if they're working 30 hours or more. If they're above 18, they will get super guarantee payments no matter how many hours they're working. So if your kids are working, it's time to have that conversation.
And you mentioned there are a couple of resources. I mean, there's so many, right, out there. What are some of the best ones that you think people should be looking at?
You don't have to overcomplicate it. The thing about superannuation is you're wanting to understand the impact. And for kids, you're right, you mentioned before, it's so far away. So what's the value of them doing this? A calculator could show where they're going to be in the future. So Money Smart is a fantastic resource by the government, and there are a lot of different money topics that are there, such as salary sacrifice, things like government co-contribution, where parents can add some money, to help their kids out with super maybe, or the kids can do it themselves and the government matches some of those contributions. And also there is the Your Super tool on the ATO website that aims to compare the default options in different funds. So it's not necessarily a like for like comparison, but it's a good starting point to understand what the average returns are of the default option, which is the balance option. And that can help you narrow down your choice in your super funds.